Hola, Camino Nuevo Familia. In this video, we'll be sharing a collection of stories that showcase the power of intellectual engagement in our classrooms. We'll also take a look at our mid-year iReady data, which highlights the progress our students were making as of December. Since the collection of this data, our students have already shown growth in their academic journey. One of our top priorities at Camino Nuevo is intellectual engagement. This means ensuring that our students are doing the thinking, the talking, and the hard work required to truly understand the concepts presented in class. Our teachers provide guidance, but they don't do the thinking for students. This is important because research shows that this type of engagement is how students learn the best and ultimately how they become independent problem solvers. To ensure we're on the right track, we conduct frequent walkthroughs of our classrooms, looking for indicators of student engagement. In March, we've seen that engagement across almost every school has exceeded our goal. So, what are we doing to continue improving intellectual engagement? We're focusing on providing more opportunities for collaborative learning, ensuring teachers have access to ongoing professional development, and leveraging data to tailor instruction to the needs of our students. Intellectual engagement doesn't just happen. It's the result of skilled, passionate educators using everything they know about instruction, curriculum, and classroom management to create conditions where students are doing the thinking, the talking, and hard work that it takes to understand concepts presented in class. Now, across our network, we are lucky to have many educators who fit that description. Today, we highlight one, Ms. Gutierrez, an 8th grade English teacher at our Eisner campus. Ms. Gutierrez began her journey with us as an instructional assistant, supporting students and teachers in the classroom. But she had a bigger dream. She wanted to make an even greater impact by leading her own classroom. Determined to grow as an educator, she enrolled in our Avance Teacher Residency program, dedicating a full school year to intensive training, hands-on experience, and mentorship. Today, she is thriving in her first year as a teacher, and her results speak for themselves. Her students are deeply engaged, challenged to think critically, and excited to learn. Her lesson plans are thoughtful and rigorous, and her preparation is meticulous. Her coach describes her as an absolute pleasure to support, highlighting how well prepared she was for this transition. Thanks to her time in our residency program, she entered the classroom with a strong foundation in instruction, curriculum, and classroom management. Ms. Gutierrez's journey is a statement to what is possible for students' intellectual engagement when they have a talented, hardworking educator supporting their learning. We are so proud to have her as part of our Camino Familia. Now, as we reach the midpoint of the year, we turn to our iReady results as one of the indicators to assess how our students are performing in English language arts and math. While we know iReady data isn't the only measure of academic performance, and we don't rely on it as a predictor of SBAC outcomes, it does provide valuable insights. We're currently in cycle 3 of our year-long intellectual engagement plan, and our teachers and school leaders are using this data to monitor student progress and adjust their instruction to better support student growth. As you'll see in the following data, some areas are showing strong progress, while in others, we still have room to grow. Building on the strong foundation of intellectual engagement we've discussed, we're now seeing tangible growth across the network, with some schools making significant strides while others continue to push towards improvement. We're proud to share that at many of our campuses, student proficiency projections for this year are higher than last year's SBAC results, showing a clear upward trajectory Let's take a closer look at how some of our schools are performing. Over at our Castellanos campus, the percentage of students on track to meet typical annual growth in both reading and math is higher than it was at this point last year, which shows the effectiveness of our strategies in fostering student growth. At our Cisneros campus, if we continue to accelerate our students' growth between December and June, we are on track to exceed last year's proficiency levels. We know that this is a time when students typically show their greatest growth, and we are confident we can help them get there. At Kane-Seyert, projected proficiency levels for reading are on track to outperform last year's SBAC results, especially in 4th and 8th grades. Like Cisneros, we are focusing on accelerated learning in the second half of the year to meet these projections. Dalzell Lance is making impressive strides in math. The percentage of students in the red, or furthest behind grade level, performance band is smaller this year than it was last year. We're committed to continuing this progress and supporting students in making further gains toward proficiency. And finally, at Burlington, the school's projected proficiency in math is higher than last year's SBAC results, provided students continue to make typical growth. We are optimistic about what the rest of this year holds. These results reflect our collective commitment of student growth. We're excited to see how we can continue to build on this momentum through the second half of the year. As we prepare for the SBAC testing in late April and May, it's clear that we need to double down on our commitment to learning and growth. The projections from the previous slide are exciting, but to meet these projections, we need to ensure that our students continue to make significant growth. When students took the December iReady assessment, they were not quite halfway to making typical growth we expect at that point in the year. This gap means that we need to accelerate their learning in the coming months. To do that, we'll need every student to be engaged and focused. One powerful tool we can use to help accelerate this progress is iReady. It's important that students continue to practice at home to reinforce the skills they are learning in the classroom. By staying committed to this effort, both in school and at home, we can ensure that our students are ready for the challenges of SBAC and continue on their path to success. As we look ahead to the second half of the year, it's important to highlight how our youngest students are already developing the skills they need to set themselves up for success in the years to come. At Castellanos, intellectual engagement begins early, and I had the opportunity to see this firsthand during a recent walkthrough focused on literacy in our K-2 classrooms. I saw students actively owning their learning, not just following directions. Strong phonics instruction was evident everywhere. Predictable routines, clear strategies, and students confidently working through their lessons. What stood out most was their independence. With whiteboards in hand and call and response routines in place, students moved through their phonics practice seamlessly. This didn't happen by accident. Teachers have been intentional in building consistency, giving students agency over their learning. This is a turning point. By investing deeply in foundational skills now, we are setting students up for success in later grades. Language and literacy are the building blocks for all learning, no matter a student's grade level. Equipped with sound spelling cards, cohesive materials, and strong instructional habits, our youngest learners are not just learning to read, they're learning how to think, how to engage, and how to take ownership of their own education. Now, as we've seen today, intellectual engagement is a powerful force driving the success of our students across the network. From the dedicated efforts of our educators like Ms. Gutierrez to the growth reflected in our iReady data and projections, we are on the right path. While we celebrate the progress we've made, we also know that the second half of the year will be crucial for continuing this momentum. We're committed to accelerating student learning, especially as we approach state SBAC testing. By focusing on deepening our students' engagement, strengthening foundational skills, and providing support both in and out of the classroom, we can help them reach new heights. Thank you for your continued dedication to making this growth possible. Let's keep pushing forward together for the success of all of our students. Gracias.